To City of Fitchburg Airport Commission meeting. It's Wednesday, the 23rd, April 2025. I'd like to start off by introducing the commission members. To my far left, Eric Takal. To my immediate left, Paul Hathaway. To my far right, Rich Liberatore, and myself, Chairman Clayton Raymond. We also have Peter Kettle, Airport Manager, here with us, as always.
Not for long.
Members in attendance, FPA co-op members, Daniel and Greg. Don.
Dave.
Pretty close.
Mr. Chair, Fitchburg Pilots Association, not FPA.
Fitchburg Pilots Association, my mistake. And we have another gentleman I do not recognize. Welcome. Thanks. Let's get started. We'll start with the approval or motion to approve last month's minutes. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Right off the bat, we have action items from last month's meeting. Correspondence to the commission. Any?
None.
And I assume the action items are going to be covered in
They're all
tonight's
covered.
meeting?
They are.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, thank you, Peter. Item 2, we have Matt Karen of Gale Associates. I do not see his picture, but
Yes, he's there. Here he comes.
I'm getting there. Stand by.
there he is.
There you are.
Oh, hi, Matt.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. You're up already.
I appreciate that. Well, good evening, everyone. Mr. Chairman, again, good evening. Good evening, members of the Fitchburg Airport Commission. Matt Karen with Gale Associates for the recording. Really brief update this evening. There are 2 projects that we're currently administering on behalf of the Airport Commission. The first one is the design and permitting for main apron reconstruction. We have preliminary construction phasing, which was developed and reviewed by the airport manager. The design of the project is ongoing. We are working towards putting together the preliminary plan set for submittal to the FAA and Mass DOT, as well as the airport. The project is currently slated to be constructed in 2026. So the project will actually be bid later this year. We're probably looking at mid-summer, late summer to get that project bid. Any questions on that project this evening?
Nope.
I guess hearing none. Okay. The second project is the design and install wildlife fencing. Currently, we had requested a grant application deadline extension of the FAA till July 1st, 2025. And that is due to the need to conduct the permitting effort that's necessary for this project. We do have a meeting with the Conservation Commission on May 21st, 2025 for inclusion. The notice of intent will be submitted by May 21st for inclusion in the June 4th hearing. Bidding for the project will be conducted in June, and then we'll be submitting the grant application for July 1st. Just as a reminder, this is for the perimeter fencing as a result of the wildlife hazard study that was previously conducted at the airport. This fencing is being covered at 100% FAA and Mass DOT share. So at this point in time, like I said, we're just working towards checking some boxes to get to that July 1st grant application deadline, and then we'll go ahead and submit that application on behalf of the Airport Commission. Any questions on that project?
Sounds good. Not good. We're good there, Matt.
Well, I appreciate you letting me jump online to give the brief update this evening, and I do look forward to seeing you all in person in the future.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Matt. Thanks for attending.
Thank you.
All right, item 3, new business. First item, Wings and Wheels, 27 April, update.
Yeah, this is really just a reminder for everybody that it is this coming Sunday. I can confirm that there's going to be 1 or 2 warbirds there, I believe, flying paid people that want to go up in the warbird, and also that the 7460 and the safety plan have both been approved by the FAA. So we're good to go.
Thanks.
Looks like the forecast has changed too, so that's good news.
Yeah, a little chilly, but it'll be good.
It's like just like last year, the year before.
No, always a great event. Item 2 is Aero Fair, June 14th.
Basically, that was requested by the Fitchburg Pilots Association. All permits are being currently obtained. The 7460 and the safety plan have already been approved by the FAA. And basically, you commissioners just have to approve the Aero Fair on June the 14th.
Motion to approve for the 14th for the Aero Fair.
Motion to approve, even though I can't make it.
I'll second.
Second, Paul,
Seconded.
and all yay, or
We're doing it.
thanks, gentlemen. Thanks, Peter.
You're welcome.
Item 3, Site Readiness Grant.
This is in addition to the agenda that was published last week, because we only have a certain amount of time to get this $250,000 used on the airport. And one thing that I didn't realise was that that $250,000 is a grant. It's provided by Mass Development, but if we get people in where that grant has been used, we have to pay the $250,000 back to Mass Development. And I said to our development organisation within the city that I'm not prepared to approve that. This has got to go to the Commission, because, you know, the Commission could be held for $250,000 once we get approved and it's been used, and say nobody ever takes it. So that's just my view. It's up to the Commission to approve it. Take the $250,000, and if we get people to utilise that land, then the rent that's coming in will pay off that $250,000.
Yeah, so obviously, I'm sure everyone has a lot of questions, but if we'd accept this, let me start from the beginning. A grant, in my mind, is free money. But a grant in the real world is, it may need to be paid back, strings attached, everything about the word grant. Just forget what you learned. This is you need to pay this back. So a couple of my questions is that, do we pay interest when paying this back? If we don't develop that land for another 10 years, are we going to have to pay the $250,000 back? Is there a time limit?
There is a time limit, and it's getting very, very close. That's why I brought this to your attention. And because I went back to the development person, Liz Murphy, and I said, look, my understanding is a grant is a free. And she said, no, we have to pay it back. I said, so it's not a grant then? And she said, yes, it is. I said, well, I don't understand, but I'll bring it to the Commission.
Yeah.
So on the letter that I sent to her, she came back and she's going to go back to Mass Development and ask them if we can be only half of the $250,000, so $125,000. So that's in abeyance. We're waiting for an answer. That only happened this morning.
And is there regardless of whether the land is developed or not, is there a time frame which the grant has to be repaid in? Because over time, that figure will be smaller and smaller, and real money.
It is real money, but there's no time limit for us to apply it. Once it gets applied, then we have to start paying it back as soon as people start, paying for their rent for their area of property, for the hangar.
Right, so I'm saying that hypothetically, that site's not developed for 10 years. We would not be on the hook for paying back that money until such time as it's...
Until it's used.
Yeah.
Until it's used. But my understanding is I think we've got about 3 weeks in order to get back to Mass Development to tell them if we want it or not.
And our idea was to use this for marketing and site pre-development?
It was going to be for the pre-development, because if you remember, the first thing that we had was $1.2 million to get Unitil to bring the electricity down and the gas.
Sure.
And it was just too much. So my idea is of this, if I may, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Right? If we take the $250,000, people come in, they build their hangars, and they pay rent. We have to pay that back. Well, why doesn't the developer pay for that hangar to be built where it is, and also the electricity and the gas to come in? Why do we need the $250,000?
So is this for the non-aviation site or for the,
Non-aviation.
okay, so we couldn't have a hangar there, right? It
No,
would be,
no.
so it would be
Yeah, just
hotel or warehouse.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
right.
So where is this money coming from to pay it back if we took the money?
From the rent that the people pay for their warehouses or whatever that are going to be built on that land. According to Liz Murphy, there are people interested in taking that land like tomorrow. So this month, by the end of this month, the RFP for the 12.2 acres is going to be sent out again.
And what is the repayment schedule? Is it over a certain number of years?
I don't know, Paul.
Yeah, because that's a big difference.
It
If
is.
you can budget it in, like we got to pay $25,000 every year for 10 years,
Right.
or $50,000 a year for 5 years. It's not quite as painful as someone's moving
No,
in,
absolutely.
and we owe the $250, but we haven't yet generated revenue from the new
Right.
facility.
Right.
You know, I think that the two are. It's one thing if you've got revenue coming in from that lease, and that agreement to pay for the repayment of the grant.
Right.
It's it's a different story as if you have to do it in one go. I think
Agreed.
that's kind of material.
May I make a proposal for the Commission? I go back tomorrow or the day after to the development people within the city and say, look, at the next meeting we need somebody here to explain exactly what this is all about in terms of the time frame to pay it back, how we pay it back, whatever.
I definitely need to know the terms
Right.
and the interests.
This was Mary Jo's baby.
Yeah,
So-
we all went in on this.
Exactly.
Yeah, we
Yeah, we did.
I mean, we didn't motion to accept, but we didn't reject.
Yeah, I think in the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot of money in terms of impact on utilities and development and betterment of the site, but it's an awful lot of money for the airport budget. You know what I mean?
In dollars and
It's like
cents, yes.
it's almost like, you know, a rounding error on what you do with 12 acres if you're putting in a hotel or a warehouse. But for us, it would blow our budget out of the water if we had to repay that in a lump sum.
Yeah.
I think that getting the real deal, what you're on the hook for, is very important.
I can ask
Rich.
and they can come back. Sorry.
If we could step back for a minute. We've been advertising the land, non-aviation land for the restaurant.
Yes,
And we've been kind of pushing that forward,
right.
making sure there's interested parties. And we're going to go step by step, and there'll be a ironclad deal. Now, Peter's saying all of a sudden there's people interested in purchasing or leasing property, non-aviation land. That's the first I hear of it. I mean, because I don't think we've boldly come out and advertised it or letting people know that this is available land. So it's got to be ironclad if people want to come in and take over different parcels, because this is a big area. And we're just not going to just start throwing people in different spots. It's got to be structurally put together, like we're doing the hangars. You know, we've got a good footprint, a good plan of how that's all going to be laid out. That should go for the same for the non-aviation land. That big parcel, we can't just have people just claiming land like they're moving out west to California to stake their claim. You know, this has got to be structurally done, engineered out, so we know who's interested, how they're coming in, and how it's going to affect the airport now, putting in structures, and then a little bit further down the road.
I think, remember when we met at the airport in the conference room and Peter showed the presentation
Yes.
That was very helpful if you cast your mind back to
And
that.
that was for the,
That is for the non-aviation land. So that is off Crawford Street.
Right.
The access through the gate where the runway 20 threshold would have been, that's the 12 acres. That's not going to be hangars. That's going to be, and remember there was a beautiful rendering of a hotel or a warehouse and then stores, additional stores along Crawford Street. That's what's up for discussion here. And it wouldn't be individual structures, it would be a one or nothing.
yes,
Parking.
thought out plan.
It would be one big entity for the most
Right.
part.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
my question is, it's not so much a grant as a loan, it sounds like. And the question is, why do we need to, what would we do, why would we borrow money? What would we do with it that would help in this case? Or do we have the interest already to get people in and start paying for that part of it through the normal development process?
Use it as a sweetener for the.
Go ahead.
I believe that the whole intention was at that time was to take the $250,000, get the RFP out for both the restaurant and the hangar site, and to show people that we have $250,000 to start bringing in the utilities. Well, unfortunately, we didn't get anybody. So it went on the back burner and we decided to go forward with just the restaurant only. And we got two really very, very interested people, as you know. Well, unfortunately, today, they backed out. So we have nobody for the restaurant. We're back to zero. So my proposal to the mayor today in an email to her said, we should build the restaurant. Because if we build it and it's vacant, somebody will come in and start it up. And I left that with her. And I got comments from the development people as well on that proposal. So, I can tomorrow send an email to Mary Jo and Liz Murphy saying, we really need representation at the next commission meeting, as long as it's not too late.
Right. I think the 250 is useful if it's used as a carrot for a developer. And you say, oh, well, in addition to this great location, you've got 250 seed money
Already.
to take the kind of pain off, bringing in utilities and bettering the site. But
Yeah, if it's too late for that to happen, then I'm a no vote
I'll find that tomorrow. All right?
on just because there's too many unknowns.
is the non-aviation property part of our airport master plan?
Yeah, yes. The non-aeronautical space has been approved.
And it's in the master plan.
Yeah,
when 2002 was taken out.
yeah. It's up on the hill. It'll never be used for,
No, I understand that,
and again, when we, processed it as a grant for $250,000, of course you're gonna put your hand up.
Absolutely.
but you got to pay it back.
Now we're realizing you have to pay this grant back.
And is that 2 or 4 years within?
Oh, I don't know.
Peter, wasn't it slated, if we accepted the grant, it was a 2-year window or a 4-year window?
I honestly don't remember.
I don't remember that.
I don't think it was even mentioned because it was a payment, no payback. So,
We could take it, we could pay it back anytime we want.
well, no, it's a grant, so it's free. We don't have to pay it back. That was my whole idea of the concept.
Yeah, I thought that was the direction we were going, until now all of a
Absolutely.
sudden,
So,
they're saying, oh yeah, by the way,
So from this point forward, just beware, a grant comes in all shapes and sizes. Don't be
yeah, I
fooled.
think so now.
If the commission is done, I'm going to take a question from the audience.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Sir, you had your hand up. State your name and the town you reside from, please.
My name's Ryan McNutt. I live in Hardwick. I actually have a lot of experience with mass development site readiness grants. I've done a number of them myself. I can answer some of your questions. Yes, you have to pay the grant back, but the terms are indefinite. It's used for like acquisition of property, like say you have a blighted property in town and the community wants to repurpose that. You can use this to buy that. You can use this to bring utilities to a site. The payback is only triggered once the development happens and you have new revenue coming in. If you don't actually generate new revenue, you don't have to pay back the site readiness grant. So Mass Development can confirm that, Liz Murphy can confirm that, Mary Jo can confirm that, but those are the terms for Mass Development site readiness grants.
And what are the terms to pay back once it does begin? Is it 10 years, 30? I mean, I'll take 50.
So when you applied for the grant, you would have filled out sort of a contract, and that contract will specify the actual repayment terms.
Yeah.
But again, those are only triggered once you have new revenue generated. So without any new revenue generated, the payment terms remain indefinite. And there's no interest. It's $250,000, whether it's today or, 2050.
Zero interest.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
That's very helpful.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
When are you here for that? It just happened, right?
Huh?
It just happened that you're here for that?
No, I was here because I wanted to come to the airport meeting. I just happened to know about site readiness grants.
There you go.
Appreciate that.
Well done.
Like a
Thank you, Ron.
Easter gift. It's great.
Yeah, lucky.
But moving forward, the idea is to, if it isn't too late already, to get the repayment terms clarified, right?
Yeah.
And then you can,
I'll do that
you'll
tomorrow.
inform the board. Okay.
I'll do that tomorrow.
Yeah, and see if we can figure out if we need to have I hate to say it,
Do we have,
urgency meeting for a motion or vote.
do we have a list of
Let me
people
know.
who are interested in that property?
I don't know. I don't.
No, there is nothing.
We're kind of,
Can I just add?
Yeah.
There is nothing at the moment. As I said 10 minutes ago, the RFP for the 12.2 acres is going to be sent out this month.
Yeah, right.
And that's when we'll
Yeah.
see what the interested parties are.
Yeah. But you would secure the 250 that you could use as a discretionary incentive. So that's kind of the point.
I think it's available. It's a 0% interest, and if the terms can be stretched out long enough that, for those first 6 months or whatever. Well, actually, they're not even, the payback isn't until money comes in.
Right.
Correct.
Now, as long as that new revenue, as he said.
Higher than the monthly payment.
Well, is associated with that specific land.
Correct.
And not just new revenue because we're building these other hangars
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so on.
Yeah, that's correct.
Make sure, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I will come back to you.
Yeah. A speed bump.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Peter. All right, old business. Gerald P. Lambard, new name for airport, presented by Jeffrey Bean.
If you remember, he asked for a little bit of an abeyance so that he could do further investigation. And he spoke to me last Friday and said, Peter, did you speak to the city clerk to find out if the previous application to change the airport name was approved and is it still current? So I said, no. I said, I'm not doing your work. You want it. You please ask the city clerk. So he sent an email into Joanna Bellotta, and I spoke to Joanna today, and she's been off for 3 weeks, I beg your pardon, with some health issues. But she is investigating it, and she has a meeting with the president of the city council to go over this, and she will get back to us by the next meeting. And I note that Jeff Bean's not here in any case, so
Yep.
I guess he's waiting for an answer. So we'll leave it on the agenda until the next meeting.
That's fine.
Okay?
I do see this additional narrative, number 2, that you've provided. Did you want to discuss that, or you want to just punt that to next time?
The what, Paul?
Which
sorry?
one, Paul?
This piece.
No, yeah, leave that until the next.
Understand.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask about that.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you.
Still under old business, item B, RFP, request for proposal for non-aviation land lease restaurant.
Right.
You covered a little bit of it, but
Today, there is nobody interested at this point in time.
do you know the sticking points?
Both of them said they had $2 million to spend on a restaurant. They asked for certain things, which we provided them with. What's the total area of land? Are the utilities there? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The
Yep.
utilities are there. We gave them the area of land. We gave them the rent per square foot at 50 cents a square foot, which is unheard of.
Yep.
And they still came back. I think it might be due to the economy or what's going on at federal level. I don't know, but they both said no.
Yeah. So
So,
nothing specific?
No.
That
no, just
the
that
land
we-
was too small
No.
or anything?
No, no.
Do we don't have a sign on Crawford Street that says airport restaurant pad for lease available, or anything that would entice people driving by to be aware that
No, it's a good idea, but no, we don't.
I wonder if we could cost effectively put a sign out by the airport entrance that calls attention to the fact that there's a commercial opportunity there. Because a lot of people drive by on that street, and you never know, you might just have somebody that says, oh, my brother's been looking for, I mean, a simple sign that's weatherproof, you're probably talking a couple $100, right?
Well,
Couple hundred.
couple
bucks
hundred, couple
might
thousand.
get you
It's all the same.
pole.
Got a Kinko's and laminated.
Nice try, though.
We need one of those people with a flipboard, stand out there and taxes.
Peter, don't mention any names, but were the interested parties local, or were they from other areas of the country?
One was local.
Yeah,
One had a restaurant in Milan, Italy,
yeah,
at the airport.
yeah.
And he also has a restaurant in Florida at an airport.
Okay. So something, like you said, economy,
Yeah.
we don't know. All right. We're gonna, I mean, there's no sense in tabling this thing. We're gonna take it off the agenda
For the time
until
being.
times change.
Well, or we can extend it. And I said to Mary Delaney, the Chief Procurement Officer, well, she suggested putting it up until the end of August to see if people, might see it and want to be interested. And we all agreed yes, because she can put it up many, many times. State law allows that to happen.
It does.
So, yeah,
So she's gonna leave it up.
yes, she is.
I think it's worth doing a 2-minute compass check on it every meeting, just to,
Okay.
any interest, particularly if Peter's received any correspondence.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And those three other people who had thoughts of maybe coming into the restaurant, that didn't pan out at all.
No, they're the ones I'm talking about. Nothing.
all right, we're gonna leave it on old business. Just as Commissioner Hathaway said, just for a checkup.
I do like Peter's idea, though. I mean, I wonder if the primary objection is the construction of the building, of shouldering the cost. There's very few restaurateurs that could get a very favorable interest rate to do something like that. It's pretty risky. That if the city had the wherewithal to build a generic restaurant that someone could parachute into, I think you'd easily find, much more easily find someone to take over an existing facility,
Well, we just missed the finance meeting, so
get those guys back.
couple of weeks.
I like Peter's idea, though. I'd be interested to see if the mayor has any thoughts on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too surprised. It's a big egg for anyone to even open a restaurant, even a building that's ready, and they just redecorate the inside. They're spending $500,000, so. Okay, leave it. Old business, item C, terrain tower lights.
Yes, as you know, we got permission from the FAA to actually remove the tower. We went out and got one quote from a company called Kobo, and to take one small tower down was $125,000. So it's now going out for 3 quotes. It's going to be going out through the mass procurement way, and we'll see what happens when the quotes come back in again. So I don't think this company wanted to do it, to be quite honest, because it's just one round pole. At the bottom, it's about 18 inches, excuse me, in diameter, excuse me, and it goes up 70 feet. And on top is a beacon, like the big one that we've got inside the admin building, you know, that big beacon.
Can we put a restaurant sign on it?
Might be able to, flashing.
Couple $100?
Yeah.
If you rent the cherry picker, I can do it for $1,500.
And you see it from Route 2.
I've got a grinder and an extension
Leave the
cable.
light.
Is it concrete or is it metal? Or?
Metal. Yeah. And it's got to
It's metal.
It's big.
it's got to have some scrap value.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially the beacon, Paul.
Well,
Like
you're
you
gonna keep that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll put that out in 3 bids and see what we can do.
So it's got to be rebid.
Yeah, it's interesting. We only had one person interested, but maybe everybody's busy. Okay, old business, item D, minimum standards. Yes. All right. Commissioner Hathaway has done a whole lot of work on revamping the minimum standards. Before Paul speaks on it, I looked at it, and it is quite different from the old one. And then I realized it's quite different from the old one because the old one really tries to be a minimum standards and a lease document and
Everything else.
just a lot of specifics that probably didn't belong in a minimum standards. So kudos to Paul for recognizing that it's some minimum standards and should be standards at a minimum.
I second the kudos.
Yeah.
Thank you. Very kind of you.
You know, we're all going to have a chance to, take a look at it, and my comment is few. Just want to include some things about really just one item about the leases in particular. There should be somewhere and somehow in that minimum standards that mentions that leases at the airport are done by square footage. Maybe you could say, well, that doesn't belong in a minimum standards. Well, I don't have any other place to put it.
But is that in the FAA?
It's not mandated. It's suggested.
Every single lease that goes out from the airport now is in square feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it certainly can be
So
inserted.
I'll go.
Thank you.
Welcome to.
Thank you. It certainly can be inserted. I mean, I think, in a quick discussion we had before, having in the preamble on the first page, making it explicit that this is the minimum standards, meaning, that's exactly what they are. And leases are governed by the standards document for leases and agreements, and that there's also an airport safety policy or security policy, which is a separate document. And so I think disaggregating these various pieces so they're clearer, but within the minimum standards saying, hey, if you're looking to understand your obligations for safety, security, et cetera, or how leases are created, go to this document, go to this appendix. The document that, Peter, you forwarded from Matt, which was the New Bedford lease agreement, I started to go through that. As a gold mine of stuff, it can be, I think we need to boil it down. There's a lot of other stuff in the back. I think for our purposes, we can make it much more concise, but I'm willing to take a crack at that. So we have using our existing lease standards plus that have yet another module, which is, okay, if you're operating commercially on the airport, here's your minimum standards. If you want to execute a lease or agreement, here's that module. If you're interested in safety, what are your obligations for safety and security? Here's that module. And then they can all be maintained independently. I think at some point I'd like to get this in front of Nagel and Twin City and the business stakeholders, Air Methods at the airport, so they don't feel like they've been, sideswiped by this. I'm sure they'll have valuable input, but I don't think there's anything in there that is really above and beyond what they already do for their existing businesses. The one thing that was very interesting in terms of research that I did recently was that I actually asked an AI, do airport minimum standards that are required for FAA grant assurances apply to non-commercial operators? And the AI answer was definitively not. And it found the FAA chapter and verse, which was that if you operate a hangar non-commercially or you fly in or out of Fitchburg, you're covered by CFR 14 Part 91. The minimum standards, by and large, do not apply to you. It is for commercial aeronautical activities. And I thought it was very useful to be able to find that actual nugget that's buried. It does say that the minimum standards can call out that all operations on the airport have to conform to safety, security, et cetera, but by and large, it's really just for the commercial aeronautical stuff. So I was quite pleased to find that. And I know it was a big question that Rich and I were batting back and forth, but I think FPA and FACT will be providing maybe some more feedback on it if you get a chance to look through it.
The feedback we gave you already.
Yes, yeah. And that was incorporated.
Right, exactly.
So all that was put in.
Yeah. We'll take another read through.
And then just go through particularly Section 5 as it pertains to, that's the only things that would be, pertinent to both organizations. And then I think we should try to get a public comment period going.
Yeah, I think it would be ready for comment as soon as we make these changes.
I can make those, yeah.
And would it be an appendix? Would that be the right term? Or?
So what I'm going to do is reference, I won't, it'll take me quite a little bit of time to create the lease standards, but I'm just going to refer to them in the minimum standards. So,
yes.
Okay. Leases are per square footage, and P.S. they're governed by this document.
Correct.
And that's really what we need to do for now.
So the goal would be these minimum standards, if done correctly, should last for 20 to 30 years. The only thing that might change is the safety standards, the lease agreements, however they, move forward.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think it's.
Yeah, the one thing at the end that we had batted around quite a bit before was minimum general liability insurance for commercial operations. And so across the board, it does say it's $1 million for just about everybody. It's the minimum, and it goes up from there for Part 135 charter, or if you're operating a big FBO where Gulfstreams are coming in, all that stuff. But I did put in a mechanism by which an applicant for commercial operations could petition or approach the commission for some consideration on that. And I'm thinking about what if you just teach people, I don't know, powered parachute or something that's, pretty low impact, there's not a high risk. Probably powered parachute's the worst example. Okay, strike that, reverse that. Pick any commercial aeronautical activity that's relatively low impact and low cost and low risk. It may not be the right thing to do if we want that business on the field to require $1 million. So what I did is I baked in a bit of wiggle room for us as a commission to look at that. It doesn't guarantee that their requirement will be less. It's just they can come and say, I want to do this, but do I really need $1 million?
I would say, my comment to that, it would be very difficult to have a variable like that just because you could end up with being blamed for favoritism.
Well, I do enumerate the types of other special aircraft service operations that fall into that. And so a better example, forget parachute, upholstery shop.
Yeah.
All I do is stitch seats. Do I really need $1 million insurance?
Right.
And so I think that was one of my better examples. And so that's one of the enumerated other SASOs that's in Section 5. So there's still time to take a look at that.
Yeah. Okay.
I did want to give us another tool in the toolbox. If someone comes and says, I just make graphics that stick on airplanes.
Yeah.
I want to be based at the airport. I want to pay rent.
Yeah.
There's no liability, no risk, hardly any at all.
Yeah.
And we go, okay, well, it's
Yeah.
2 people are going to be employed. That's good. You get paid rent. Let's figure out what the risk profile is.
Right. And I think we spoke at other meetings just saying, so him and his employee just need to be insured somewhat for slip and fall
Sure.
on their way
Or
from the gate to the ramp.
They
or
can't sue
down.
the city when they get banged by
Yes,
the door. I mean,
right.
what if they just design aircraft paint schemes or panels? They don't actually do any work, but they
Yeah.
want to have an office there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are some weird niche businesses
Yeah.
that are very low risk, so we have that tool.
Mr. Chair, may I say something? If you remember, I recused myself because it was a conflict of interest for me, having a hangar down there and also being the airport manager. So I took it on myself to have a look at this. I think you've done a great job, Paul. I really do.
Thank you.
But do you need to mention EV?
Which one?
EV. That's coming in the future. Do we need to mention that? Do we need to put it in the
It
minimum
is
standard?
specifically in there. eVTOLs are called out as an operation.
Where did you put
but
that?
It is in, there's 2 definitions of SASOs.
Because I missed
I
that.
think it's in Section 5. I'll find it for you.
Okay. No, if it's there, I'm fine.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
fine. Absolutely fine. With the charging station, right?
Charging stations are not specifically enumerated. It just really calls out the type of operation. The only thing we talk about when we're talking about power or fueling is self-fueling and the fuel farm and,
Right,
and
right.
who can store or dispense fuels.
Right. Okay, so that comes to my next thing.
Yeah.
I would like the fuel taken out completely. Completely. Because 60 to 70% of our revenue is fuel. And if we give it away, it's not going to be an airport anymore.
Well, the reason it's in there is that the minimum standards ideally provide a framework for growth. So let's say if Signature comes in and they say, we're sick of Bedford, and there's a new type of jet that comes in, and we really want to move all of our King Air business and all of our Pilatuses and TBMs to Fitchburg. And we want to put in a 400,000 square foot facility, but we want to self-fuel because we need to, you can't have to keep
Right.
calling the city. And I've seen that relationship actually work really well. There's a lot of municipal airports where there is an FBO that can sell fuel. But there's also, the city also has a terminal that sells fuel.
Absolutely.
And they both get business. So really this isn't, the minimum standards don't exist as permission to do this. It would be subject to an approval. All it does is provide a framework for if we wanted to do it.
Okay, I was just trying to take out the inquiring mind who's, oh yeah, I can sell fuel here, so
Oh, no.
let's go there.
It's expressly prohibited. So it says no one can sell fuel without an agreement or approval from the airport commission and the airport
No,
manager.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. All right, I mean, that's just my comment.
It's good to make sure that we've got the protections in place. It's also very specific that you can't store fuel and things
Right.
that make fire marshals nervous.
Okay, that was my main comment. I don't like to see the fuel in there. Being on the MAMA group now,
Yeah.
there's not one airport in Massachusetts that has both fuels that make money for the city.
Yeah.
Not one.
Yeah.
It all goes to the FBO.
It tends to be when there's, the municipal airport terminal with its fuel service is for all transients, right? And then there is a specialty operations place. Great example might be Forestry Service or Air Methods. And they say, look, we fuel so many of our aircraft every day, we need to be able to do it ourselves. And our agreement with them might be, great, you have to buy it from us. Or you can't ever be less than our price.
Right.
You know, there's all kinds of levers, but we have the flexibility to do whatever we want as an airport, but the protections for us are there.
Okay, as long as you're happy with that.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's pretty standard.
All right.
Like I said, I shamelessly plagiarized much of this work. So.
Well,
I'm a good editor.
you're honest.
It's keeping track of the changes in the sections, that's the hard part. And the formatting.
I mean, I know there are some private jet owners that have their own fuel
Yes, my dream.
Bowser right at their hangar.
There are airports
At
in
Manchester,
Texas.
as a matter of fact.
There are airports in Texas where, with your hangar, they will allow you to build a 30, 40, 50,000 gallon tank next to your hangar,
Yeah.
and they're buying fuel at $2 a gallon, less.
Well, in Manchester, they still have to buy it from the airport.
Yeah.
But it's a convenience for this
It is.
particular jet owner.
It is.
So are you saying that's not allowed in these minimum standards at Fitchburg?
It's currently prohibited unless you have an approval or agreement with the airport commission.
Fine.
So it's like, no, but if we can make money off it, let's see.
Yeah, okay.
Just to let you know, Air Methods did want to have their own tank. And I
And
said no.
you shut them down?
I said no.
Peter?
I said no, because I want to make money for the airport. But what we did, they said, look, we've got about 340 Air Methods airports around North America, and in every single one of those, the people are trained to use the airport truck.
Yeah.
So what I did, I spoke to the attorney, and we've got, if they need fuel between 5 and 11 o'clock at night, then they call in Terry or Scott to do the fueling. After 11 o'clock, they use the truck and fill them themselves.
That's a great
And
solution.
that's working really well, really well.
That's excellent.
And of course, we've got the meters on there. We set it when we leave, and we know what it is, how much it's taken, and
Oh,
we build accordingly.
That's
So,
really smart.
so it's working really well.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, the fewer fuel storage tanks you have on any property, the better.
The
'Cause
happier the
over
fire
time,
department will be.
they become an environmental menace.
Yeah,
You don't want to deal with them.
yeah,
And if it has wheels, all the better.
yeah.
As soon as it's worn out, take it away.
Okay, thank
All
you.
right.
So I'll put those additions into the draft and recirculate it, just like last time. And then if everybody's happy, maybe we can, Peter, that you could post it with the city for a public comment.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we're going to take a look at it too while it's on the website, but if we can get what we would want into it first.
Oh, that's a given. So I'll make those edits and then everybody look at it and then.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only, I had one comment, and that was in the SASO section. There's some general stuff, and then there's the specific SASOs. The first SASO section, specific one in there, says something about, and has to follow the other minimum standards following in this section 5. And I couldn't find anything else that it would be referring to unless it meant the previous. It was just a nit about
I
the
think it
reference
does.
to it.
There's some circular references in section 5 about SASO definitions. I'll look at that carefully
Okay.
again. I thought I'd weeded that one out that you had mentioned,
Yeah.
because it has very generic definitions of SASOs, whether, flight school, FBO, whatever, Part 135, but then it also gets into the other SASOs like upholstery shop, tire repair, paint shop, not that we do have a paint shop in Mass, but there's a balance between being too specific and trying to give a flavor of what you're talking about.
Yeah, but if there is a specific one that I didn't quite see that was what it meant.
Okay,
Maybe
I'll
refer
look
to
at
that
that.
specific. Okay, cool, thanks. No, that was awesome though.
Thank you. We're getting close.
Yeah.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Old business, item E, Rockin' Horse Enterprises, Phase 1.
Okay, current update. The agreement that the city solicitor put together was sent through to the Rockin' Horse Enterprises LLC attorney. He asked for 2 or 3 changes to be made. Those have been made. It went back to Rockin' Horse Enterprises LLC. They've signed it. It's now come back. And the situation we have at the moment is that they have a copy of that. We have a copy here at the airport and in the city. And next week, well, beg your pardon, I've missed one step. On Friday of this week, Bob Montana, the CEO of Rockin Horse Enterprises, is going to be talking to his attorney. And next week, our agreement, together with the agreement that they have with the new owners of the hangars, are being sent out asking for a 10% deposit to start the 30 new being built. So we're moving forwards
Great
nicely.
progress.
Okay?
Yeah.
Great.
Do we still have
Thank
a
you.
target groundbreaking date?
It all depends when they all come back.
Okay. Because I know we were targeting like May 1st.
Yeah, it was. No, it's not
A little
going to be May
later.
the 1st.
I'm sure they're going to have, I'm sure the potential owner's got 30 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure there's some kind of
Yeah,
time frame.
Yeah, I'm sure of it. So,
All right, that's good news. It's going to be a great addition to the airport for sure.
$77,000 a year.
Do we have any idea of what mix of airplanes have shown interest? Is it more piston or more turbine or a good bit of both?
It's definitely more piston.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Eric Sheffields with his SF-50. I believe there's another SF-50 coming in. I believe that Joe Spinelli is bringing his jet as well.
M2, yeah.
Yes. And also, there's a couple of people with TBMs.
Oh, unfortunate.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So you can start a club, Paul. You can start a club.
You could be president of the club.
I get enough trouble on the TVM owners forum already that I don't want to get
And you
any
can
more.
volunteer for the treasury of the club.
I don't want to get any.
Yeah, it'll be good for you.
Yes. Maximum trouble already caused.
Cecil just for those.
You know, I started a forum conversation on the use of Starlink minis on glare shields, and boy, hornet's nest. Get the people who are like, you're a felon and you're going to test pilot, you're going to kill everybody in the sky. And everybody else is like, I was using it in Antarctica, it was awesome.
Okay, old business, item G, after hours
F.
Oh, you missed one.
Real
F.
Box hanger.
Rocking Horse Enterprises LLC, box hanger, sorry.
Yes. Unfortunately, the gentleman that is dealing with Bob Montana is overseas.
Yep,
He's coming back next week and just missed the commission, so we'll have to wait until the next meeting.
okay,
Okay?
but still alive,
Yes.
good.
And that was for a PC-12, right?
Yes.
That's good news.
Sorry, I jumped the gun, so I was just so excited to get to the after-hours bathroom. I couldn't contain myself,
Well, I bet you
so
could.
Yeah,
item G.
I could the pilots.
We actually have information on this?
Well, we hope
Daniel,
we do.
all right.
Daniel.
I mean, if they wanted to go to the bathroom in the porta potty, they must be waiting a long time because they've had it for 8 weeks. So,
Peter, good
Nothing
things take
actually
time.
last week.
I'm sure Mr. Wall will enlighten us.
I have signed copies, 3 copies here, Dave.
Excellent.
Signed on 3/25, 3/27.
Brilliant.
So right after last meeting.
fantastic.
Signed. We need your signature, Mr. Chair.
That's
So,
it.
and after
I happen to have a pen this evening.
Miracles never cease.
Brilliant.
Play the lottery tonight.
Thanks.
My greatest achievements is lobbying for a
You
porta
should have
potty.
called me. I would have come and got them.
My civic career is off to a good start.
but I noticed it actually.
What do you think?
Just like a gentleman's agreement.
If you want tickets for Hawaii.
Yeah.
No more peeing in the woods.
My real name's Clayton, is that all right?
Yeah, of
So
course.
it's the guys to your right who
Yeah, absolutely.
wrote it up. Actually, my legal name is Edward.
Yeah.
I think the intent.
Oh, yeah, did the same thing, so that's all right.
Yeah,
Safety in numbers.
that's all right.
Well
Right,
done.
make it right.
Yeah.
So 2 copies. I'll
Yeah.
get one back to.
Yeah, let me have that one, and I will get that organised and get them
It's
in.
a funny pen.
Most probably,
Just the ink's gonna
most
be-
probably as of the 1st of the month.
Give those a couple
All
of
right?
weeks to dry.
Thank you.
You
Excellent.
gotta take them too with you.
I'll take one for Mark
Yeah.
as well.
Oh,
Yeah, excellent. Many thanks. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.
Well done, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that was pretty efficient. I think that was under a year.
Are we going to have a ribbon cutting? Who gets to use it first? I named this ship SS God bless her and all who sail.
All right. Let's get on point. Item 5, financial review, approval of commitments and abatements. It says no.
No, not
We are up to date?
Yes, we are, sir.
Excellent.
How are fuel sales tracking, Peter, for this year? How are fuel sales tracking?
At least 1 month down,
Really?
because we had 2 really bad
Horrific
months.
January,
Terrible,
February.
terrible.
Yeah.
January and February,
No, I
killer.
didn't.
But this last 2 weeks have been amazing.
Yes.
Amazing,
Okay.
really amazing. We've had 2 jets in today. We've got another one coming tomorrow. So I believe we'll make it.
It'll even out at the end.
Be close. Thank you.
Yeah, we can't control the weather.
No.
Yeah.
And I did alert the mayor to that as well, and the city auditor. I sent them a
Did
letter.
you put it in writing?
I absolutely did. Yes, sir.
Smart man.
Keep ahead of it. Thank you. All right, I'm going to, the next item is executive session, and there is an executive session this evening. We are not going to come back into a regular public meeting this evening, and we need a roll call to go into executive session. And the reason for the executive session is we're going to discuss strategy with respect to litigation, and an open meeting will have detrimental effect to bargaining and negotiating the position of a public body. So, thank you everyone for coming. Greatly appreciated.
Thank
Have
you
a
for your
roll
help.
call
Nice to see
for
you.
Thank you for your help,
executive
Brian.
session, please.
I make a motion to enter executive session.
All is a yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Eric, Rich, and myself.
And you have to bang your gavel.
Thank you.